The space station floated in the darkness between 3 solar systems. It was called Orith 7, and it was a place where many different alien species came to talk, trade, and make peace. The station was huge. It had gardens, markets, living areas, and meeting halls. Thousands of beings from dozens of worlds walked its metal corridors every day. Dr. Marcus Chun stood near a large window and watched a cargo ship dock at the station. He was a human, 34 years old, with dark hair and kind eyes. His job was to study alien languages. He had lived on Orith 7 for 2 years now, and he loved it. Every day brought something new. Every day he met beings he had never imagined. Marcus had a habit that other aliens found strange. He recorded everything. He carried a small datapad with him always, and he used it to take pictures and videos of things that interested him. A beautiful nebula outside the window. A funny-looking fruit at the market. An alien musician playing a strange instrument. Marcus saved them all. Why do you do this? A colleague had once asked him. Why do you record so many things? Marcus had smiled. Because I might want to remember them later. Because they make me happy. The aliens did not understand this, but they accepted it as a human thing. Today was an important day on the station. Marcus could feel the tension in the air. People walked faster. Guards stood at every corner. Important visitors were coming. The Velthrani were arriving. Marcus had heard many stories about the Velthrani. They were a warrior species from a distant system. Their bodies looked like a mix of cat and reptile. They had smooth scales, sharp claws, and eyes that seemed to glow in low light. They moved without sound. They could kill before their enemy even knew they were there. For thousands of years, the Velthrani had been feared. Their assassin clans were legendary. Stories said that a single Velthrani warrior could destroy an entire enemy base alone. They valued honor, silence, and deadly skill above all things, but they were not here to fight. They were here to talk about trade. This was new for the Velthrani. They were trying to open up to the galaxy, to be more than just warriors. It was a big step for them. Marcus watched from a distance as the Velthrani ship connected to the station. The docking bay doors opened, and a group of Velthrani walked out. They moved together, smooth and silent. Like shadows given form. At the front was a tall female Velthrani. She wore simple dark robes, but she carried herself like a queen. This was Ambassador Kethsaro. Marcus had read about her. She was one of the most respected leaders of her people. She had convinced the Velthrani elders to try this new path of peace and trade. Behind her walked several guards. They were tall and strong, their eyes scanning everything for danger. Other aliens in the docking bay moved away from them. Even the bravest species gave the Velthrani space. But then Marcus noticed something unusual. Walking close to the ambassador, surrounded by guards, were 3 small figures. They were children. Velthrani cubs. Marcus felt his eyebrows rise in surprise. He had never seen Velthrani children before. He did not think anyone had. The Velthrani were very protective of their young. They never brought them off their homeworld, but here they were. 3 small cubs walking with the diplomatic group. The cubs looked like smaller versions of the adults, but softer somehow. Their scales were not as hard. Their movements were not as controlled. They looked around at the station with wide, curious eyes. Marcus understood what this meant. Ambassador Kethsaro had brought her children as a sign of trust. She was showing the galaxy that the Velthrani wanted peace so much that they would bring their most precious treasures. It was a brave thing to do. But the other aliens on the station did not see it that way. They looked at the cubs with fear. They whispered to each other and backed away. Marcus heard a group of traders talking nearby. Even their children are dangerous, one said. They start training them to kill when they are babies. Little monsters, another agreed. Stay away from them. Marcus frowned. He did not like this. Yes, the cubs were Velthrani. Yes, they would probably grow up to be deadly warriors. But right now, they were just children. They were small and young and looking at everything with wonder. The diplomatic group moved through the station toward the meeting halls. Marcus watched them go. The 3 cubs walked in a perfect line behind their mother. Their small faces showed no emotion. Their bodies were straight and still. Even at their young age, they had been trained to control themselves. But Marcus saw the way their eyes moved. He saw how they looked at the colorful shops and the strange aliens and the bright lights. They were curious. They wanted to explore. They wanted to play. They were just kids. Marcus shook his head and smiled to himself. The galaxy was so quick to fear. Everyone looked at the Velthrani and saw only death. But Marcus had learned something in his years of studying alien cultures. Every species, no matter how fierce, had children. And children were children everywhere. They wanted to run and play and laugh. He wondered if anyone had ever played with a Velthrani cub. He wondered if anyone had ever seen them just be kids. Probably not, he thought. And that was sad. Marcus turned away from the window and went back to his work. He had translations to finish. The Velthrani visit would last several weeks, and he might see the ambassador and her group again. But it was not his business. He was just a linguist, not a diplomat. He had no idea that a small rubber ball in his bag was about to change everything. The ball was a stress toy. Marcus squeezed it when he was thinking hard about a difficult translation. It was bright blue and fit perfectly in his hand. He had brought it from Earth years ago. It was nothing special, but in 2 days, that little ball would roll across a garden floor. 3 pairs of glowing eyes would lock onto it, and the galaxy would learn something new about humans. They would learn that humans had a strange and powerful ability, an ability that no other species seemed to have. Humans could look at the most dangerous creatures in the universe and think one simple thought, "Oh my God, they are so cute." But that moment was still in the future. For now, Marcus went back to his small office and his translation work, and the Velthrani cubs walked silently beside their mother, hiding their curiosity behind masks of discipline. The station hummed with life around them all, and nobody knew that something wonderful was about to begin. 2 days passed on the station. The trade talks between the Velthrani and the Galactic Council were going slowly. These things always took time. There were many details to discuss, many old fears to overcome. Marcus Chon spent most of his time in his office, working on translations. But today he needed a break. His eyes were tired from staring at screens. His mind was foggy from reading complicated diplomatic documents. He needed fresh air. Well, not real fresh air. The station was in space. But Orth 7 had something almost as good. The observation deck garden was one of the most beautiful places on the station. It was a large dome filled with plants from 100 different worlds. There were trees with purple leaves, flowers that glowed softly in the dark, and grass in colors that Earth had never seen. Her artificial sun shone through the glass ceiling. Small streams of water ran between the plants. Marcus took his lunch to the garden. He found a quiet bench near a group of blue fern-like plants and sat down. He opened his food container and started to eat. The garden was not empty. A few other beings were there, walking on the paths or sitting in quiet corners. But one group caught Marcus's attention immediately. Near the center of the garden, on a flat area of soft grass, sat the 3 Velthrani cubs. They were with a guardian. The guardian was a tall, stern-looking Velthrani with dark scales and cold eyes. Marcus later learned his name was Instructor Vorith. He stood behind the cubs like a statue, watching everything. The cubs sat in a perfect triangle formation. Their small legs were crossed. Their backs were straight. Their hands rested on their knees. They did not move. They did not speak. They just sat there like three little statues. Marcus watched them as he ate. They were so still, so controlled. He knew this was part of Velthrani training. Even young cubs were taught to master their bodies and minds. They learned to be silent and patient from a very early age. But Marcus could see something else. He could see how hard they were trying. Their small muscles were tight with effort. Their eyes moved around, looking at all the amazing plants and strange creatures in the garden. They wanted to explore. They wanted to move. But they had to stay still. One cub in particular caught his attention. The smallest one, sitting on the left. Her scales were a lighter gray than the others. Her eyes kept moving to a small bird-like creature that was hopping near the flowers. She wanted to chase it. Marcus could tell. Everything in her small body wanted to chase that bird. But she stayed frozen in place. Marcus felt sad for them. They were just children. They should be running around, playing games, getting into trouble. But their culture demanded control. Even here, in a beautiful garden full of wonders, they had to sit still and silent. He finished his lunch and started to pack up his things. As he lifted his bag, something fell out. The blue rubber ball dotted hit the ground with a soft bounce. Then it rolled. The garden floor was not perfectly flat. The ball rolled slowly across the grass, bouncing gently over small bumps. It rolled toward the center of the garden. It rolled toward the cubs. Marcus opened his mouth to call out, but something made him stop. He watched Dot, the smallest cub, saw the ball first. Her head turned toward it. Her eyes locked onto the moving blue object. Her pupils went wide and dark. The second cub noticed his sister looking at something. He turned and saw the ball, too. His body went tight, like a spring being pressed down. The third cub, the largest, tried to stay still. He really tried. His eyes found the ball. His claws dug into the grass. His tail, which had been perfectly still, began to twitch. The ball kept rolling, slow, bouncing gently, blue and bright against the green grass dot. And then the smallest cub broke. She launched herself at the ball, like a tiny missile. Her small body moved so fast that Marcus could barely follow it. She flipped through the air, twisted, and landed with both paws on the ball, but she pressed too hard. The ball squirted out from under her and bounced away. The second cub was already moving. He ran on all fours, incredibly fast, and jumped for the ball. He caught it in his claws but crashed into his sister. They rolled together in a ball of scales and tails. The third cub, the one who had tried so hard to stay still, could not hold back anymore. He ran toward his siblings with a high-pitched chirping sound. He jumped over them, grabbed the ball, and tried to run away. But the other two were fast. They chased him. They tackled him. The ball flew free again. Marcus stared with his mouth open. The cubs were a blur of motion. They ran and jumped and flipped and twisted. They bounced off the ground and off each other. Their movements were incredibly fast and precise, even in play. They looked like tiny warriors fighting a great battle, but the sounds they made were not warrior sounds. They chirped and squeaked and made little growling noises that sounded almost like laughter. Their faces, which had been so serious before, were now alive with joy that Marcus felt his heart melt. "Oh my God," he whispered to himself. "They look like little baby ninjas." Without even thinking about it, he pulled out his datapad. He pointed it at the cubs and pressed record. The cubs kept playing. They did not notice him. They were too busy chasing the ball, tackling each other, rolling in the grass. The smallest one did a flip that would have made a professional gymnast jealous. The largest one tried to hide the ball under his body, but his siblings pulled him away. Marcus watched through his datapad screen smiling so hard his face hurt. "Look at them," he whispered as he recorded. "They're so precious. Tiny ninja babies. Oh, that flip was amazing. Look at those little murder kittens go." He recorded for almost 2 minutes. 2 minutes of pure joy. 2 minutes of 3 deadly alien children being just children. Then a shadow fell over him. Marcus looked up. Instructor Vorith stood before him. The tall Velthrani's eyes were burning with cold fire. His claws were extended. His teeth were showing. Behind him, the cubs had frozen in place. They stared at their instructor with fear in their eyes. They knew they were in trouble, but Vorith was not looking at them. He was looking at Marcus, at the datapad in his hands, at the recording. "What?" Vorith said in a voice like ice. "Do you think you are doing, human?" Marcus realized, suddenly, that he might have made a very big mistake. Marcus slowly lowered his datapad. His heart was beating fast. Instructor Vorith stood before him like a tower of cold anger. The Velthrani's scales seemed darker somehow, as if his fury was changing his very color. "I asked you a question, human," Vorith said. His voice was quiet, but it carried a threat like a knife hidden in silk. "What do you think you are doing?" Marcus swallowed hard. I saw the cubs playing and you were recording them." Vorith's eyes moved to the datapad. "You were studying their movements." "What?" "No, I wasn't studying anything. I just thought they looked. Do you think I am stupid?" Vorith stepped closer. He was much taller than Marcus. His claws caught the artificial sunlight and gleamed. "I know what recording means. I know why someone would study how a Velthrani moves." Marcus felt confusion mixed with his fear. "I don't understand." "I wasn't trying to assassins study their targets," Vorith cut in. His voice was getting louder. Other beings in the garden were turning to look. They record movements. They learn patterns. They find weaknesses. He pointed one claw at Marcus's chest. "You were recording our children. Our children. This is not just an insult. This is a threat. This is a declaration of hostile intent." Marcus felt the blood drain from his face. No, that's not what I was doing at all." "Then explain yourself." Vorith was almost shouting now. "Explain why a human is secretly recording Velthrani cubs. Explain it in a way that does not sound like you are planning to harm them." Marcus's mind raced. How could he explain? A concept seemed so simple to him. The cubs were cute. They were playing. It made him happy to watch. So he recorded it. That was all. But looking at Vorith's face, he realized that the Velthrani had no frame of reference for this. They did not understand. The cubs had moved behind their instructor. They huddled together, their earlier joy completely gone. They looked scared, not of Marcus, but of the trouble they knew was coming. They had broken their discipline. They had played in public. And now a stranger had recorded them. Other aliens in the garden were gathering at a distance. Some were talking into communication devices. Word was spreading. A human had threatened Velthrani children. A diplomatic incident was happening. Is there a problem here? The new voice cut through the tension. Everyone turned. Ambassador Kethsaro walked toward them. She moved like flowing water, smooth and dangerous. Her eyes took in the scene instantly. The angry instructor, the frightened cubs, the pale human clutching a datapad. 2 Velthrani guards followed behind her. They looked ready to kill anything that moved wrong. "Ambassador," Vorith said, bowing his head slightly, "this human was recording your children. I believe he means them harm." Kethsaro's eyes moved to Marcus. They were deep gold, like ancient coins. They showed nothing. No anger, no fear, no mercy. Just cold attention. "Is this true, human?" she asked. Were you recording my cubs? Marcus nodded. There was no point in lying. Yes, I was recording them. But I swear, I meant no harm. I would never hurt children. Any children. I was just what? Kefsaro's voice was flat. Marcus took a deep breath. He knew his next words might save him or doom him. He had to make her understand. I was recording them because they were beautiful. He said. Silence. Everyone stared at him. They were playing, Marcus continued, his words coming faster now. They were chasing a ball. My ball, actually. It fell out of my bag, and they started playing with it, and they were so fast and so graceful, and they looked so happy, and He paused, trying to find the right words. In human culture, when we see something that makes us feel joy, we record it. We save it, so we can look at it again later, so we can share it with others. It's not about studying or finding weaknesses. It's about preserving a happy moment. Kefsaro's expression did not change. You expect me to believe that you recorded my children because they made you happy? Yes. Marcus held up his datapad. Please, let me show you. Watch the video. Listen to what I was saying while I recorded. If you still think I meant harm after that, I will accept any punishment you think is right. The guards moved forward, ready to take him away. But Kefsaro raised one hand, and they stopped. She studied Marcus for a long moment. He felt like she was looking into his soul. Show me, she finally said. Marcus's hands were shaking as he opened the video. He turned the datapad so she could see the screen. He pressed play. The garden was silent as the video ran. On the screen, the cubs tumbled and played. They chased the ball. They tackled each other. They did flips and rolls and jumps. And through the datapad's speaker, everyone could hear Marcus's voice, soft, warm, full of affection. Oh my God, they look like little baby ninjas. Look at them go. So precious. Did you see that flip? Amazing. Tiny ninja babies. What adorable little murder kittens. Oh, that was so good. Look at how fast they are. So cute. So cute. The video ended. No one moved. Marcus looked at Kefsaro. Her face had changed. It was not angry anymore. It was something else. Something he could not read. Murder. Kittens? She said slowly. It's a term of affection, Marcus said quickly. Humans often use words like murder or deadly in a positive way when describing cute animals. It's because we find the contrast funny. A cute thing that could be dangerous. It makes the cuteness even more. Caught. Kefsaro blinked. It was the first sign of emotion she had shown. You called my children cute. Very cute, Marcus said. Extremely cute. Possibly the cutest thing I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot of cute things. I have a whole folder on my datapad. Kittens, puppies, baby pandas. Your cubs are definitely in the top 5. Behind Kefsaro, the 3 cubs were peering around their mother's legs. They looked confused. They had never heard anyone call them cute before. They had been called deadly, dangerous, threats. Never cute. Vorath stepped forward. Ambassador, surely you cannot believe this foolishness. Humans are known for their deception. This is clearly a trick. Kefsaro was quiet for a moment. Then she looked at Marcus with new eyes. Tell me more, she said. Tell me about this human habit of recording ... Cute things. Marcus felt a small spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, he could make them understand. And maybe the galaxy was about to learn something new about humanity. The crowd in the garden had grown. Word had spread across the station about the incident. Aliens of many species stood at a distance, watching. They expected violence. They expected the Velthrani to punish the human who had threatened their young. But instead, they saw something strange. They saw the ambassador asking questions. They saw the human talking, explaining, moving his hands as he spoke. They saw no blood, no fighting, no death. Marcus took a deep breath and tried to organize his thoughts. This was the most important explanation of his life. He had to make the Velthrani understand something that humans never even thought about. It was so natural to humans that they forgot other species might not feel the same way. On Earth, Marcus began, where humans come from, we have many different animals. Some are dangerous. Some could kill us. But even the most dangerous animals have babies. And those babies? He smiled without meaning to. Those babies make us feel something very powerful. What do they make you feel? Kethsaro asked. Her voice was neutral, but Marcus could see a tiny spark of curiosity in her eyes. Warmth, Marcus said. Protection. Love. We see a baby animal, and we want to take care of it. We want to keep it safe. We want to watch it play and grow. It doesn't matter if the adult version is dangerous. A baby tiger could grow up to kill us. But when we see that baby tiger rolling around and playing with a ball, we don't think about danger. We just think. He paused, searching for the word. We think it's precious. Even creatures that could harm you? Kethsaro asked. Especially those creatures, Marcus said. Humans have a word for this feeling. We call it cute. When something is cute, it makes us happy. It makes us want to smile. It makes us want to record it and share it with everyone we know. He pulled out his datapad and opened his personal folder. May I show you something? Kethsaro nodded. Marcus showed her a video. It was a simple thing recorded on Earth many years ago. A small kitten was playing with a ball of yarn. The kitten was clumsy and kept falling over. It got tangled in the yarn and looked confused. This video, Marcus said, has been watched by billions of humans. Billions. Our entire species has seen it. And do you know what they all said when they watched it? What? They said, "Aw," Marcus made the sound. It's a noise humans make when something is cute. We cannot help it. The feeling is so strong that it comes out of us as a sound. He showed her another video. A puppy was trying to climb stairs, but kept sliding back down. Another video. A baby panda sneezing. Another. Baby penguins huddling together for warmth. Kethsaro watched each one. Her face was hard to read, but she did not look away. Humans make these recordings all the time, Marcus explained. Every day, millions of new videos of baby animals are shared. Parents record their children playing. People record their pets doing funny things. We save these moments because they give us joy. We share them because we want others to feel that joy too. This is common for your species? Kethsaro asked. It is one of the most common things we do, Marcus said. We even have competitions. The cutest kitten. The funniest puppy. Humans spend hours watching these videos. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel hopeful somehow. Like the universe is not all darkness and danger. Voreth stepped forward. His face was twisted with confusion. But why would you find our children cute? We are warriors. We are killers. Other species fear us. They do not find us ... adorable. Marcus looked at the cubs. They had come out from behind their mother. They were watching him with wide, curious eyes. The smallest one was still holding the blue ball in her claws. Because they're children, Marcus said simply. They're young. They're small. They were playing and laughing and having fun. It doesn't matter what species they are. When I saw them chasing that ball, doing those amazing flips, I didn't see future warriors. I saw kids being kids. And that will always be cute to me. He turned back to Kethsaro. When I called them murder kittens, I wasn't being mean. I was saying that they are cute and impressive. Humans often combine cuteness with power. We say things like fierce little guy, or tiny terror, or adorable monster. It means we are amazed by how something so small and cute can also be so strong and fast. Kethsaro was silent for a long moment. Then she did something that surprised everyone. She looked at her cubs. Really looked at them, as if seeing them for the first time. All my life, she said quietly, I have watched other species look at my people. I have seen fear. I have seen hatred. I have seen respect sometimes. But never. She paused. No one has ever looked at my children with warmth. No one has ever called them precious. That's sad, Marcus said honestly. Because they are precious. All children are. Kethsaro turned to face the crowd of watching aliens. Her voice became stronger, carrying across the garden. This human recorded my children playing, she announced. He did not do it to harm them. He did it because their joy made him feel joy. He wanted to save that moment. He wanted to share it. She paused. Is there anyone here who finds this threatening? No one spoke. Kethsaro nodded slowly. Then she looked at Marcus with new eyes. Eyes that held something that might have been the beginning of respect. Show me more of these cute videos, she said. I wish to understand this human feeling better. Marcus smiled. I have hundreds. Maybe thousands. Would you like to see the baby otters? They hold hands while they sleep so they don't float apart. For the first time, Ambassador Kethsaro of the Velthrani warrior clans smiled. It was a small smile, barely there. But it was real. Yes, she said. Show me these otters. And as the crowd watched in amazement, the deadly assassin ambassador sat down on the grass next to the strange human. Her cubs gathered around them, curious. And together, they watched videos of Earth animals being cute. The galaxy had seen many strange things. But this might have been the strangest of all. 3 weeks had passed since the day in the garden. The trade talks were finished. The Velthrani had signed agreements with the Galactic Council. Ambassador Kethsaro was preparing to return to her homeworld, but something else had happened. Something no one had expected. Before she left, Kethsaro gave Marcus permission to share the video of her cubs. She had thought about it for many days. She had watched the video herself, over and over. Each time, she saw something new. She saw her children being free, being happy, being young. Share it, she told Marcus. Let your people see. Marcus shared it on the human network. He called it Baby Ninjas Playing with a Ball. He added a simple caption, Velthrani Cubs. Possibly the cutest aliens I have ever seen. Within 1 hour. The video had been watched 1 million times within 1 day. It had been watched 100 million times by the end of the week. It had been watched by almost every human who had access to the network. The comment section exploded. Oh my God, look at those little murder babies. I would die for these tiny ninja cats. I would die for them immediately. The way the little one pounced on the ball. My heart cannot take this. We must protect these precious angels at all costs. Tiny, deadly, perfect. Humans shared the video with each other. Parents showed it to their children. Friends sent it to friends. News programs talked about it. Artists drew pictures of the cubs. Someone made tiny plush toys that looked like them. The galaxy watched in confusion as humanity lost its collective mind over 3 alien children chasing a ball. Other species did not understand. The Velthrani were dangerous. Their cubs would grow up to be assassins. Why were humans treating them like pets? Why were they calling them cute names? Why were they talking about protecting them? But the humans did not care what other species thought. They had seen the video. They had fallen in love. Soon, Messages started arriving at the Velthrani homeworld. Gifts came with them. Thousands of gifts. There were toys. Balls in every color. Soft things to cuddle. Games to play. There were blankets made from the softest materials humans could find. There were picture books full of Earth animals. There were treats and snacks and beautiful things. Each gift came with a note. The note said things like, "For the precious little ninjas. Please give them pets for me. I hope the cubs enjoy these toys. They deserve all the happiness in the world. From the children of Earth School 47, we think your cubs are amazing. We want to be friends. Please tell them they are loved, even by people very far away." The Velthrani did not know what to do with all these gifts. They did not know what to do with these messages of love from strangers. No species had ever treated them this way. No one had ever looked at them with anything but fear, but the cubs knew exactly what to do. They played with every toy. They wrapped themselves in the soft blankets. They looked at the picture books with wide, amazed eyes. And for the first time in their young lives, they felt something new. They felt loved by people they had never met. Kethsaro watched her children play with their human gifts. Something changed in her heart that day. Something deep and permanent. She called a meeting of the Velthrani elders. She told them what had happened. She showed them the video. She showed them the comments. She showed them the gifts and the messages. "These humans," she said, "are not like the others. They looked at our children and saw something precious. They looked at our future warriors and wanted to protect them. They looked at us, the most feared species in the galaxy, and they said, 'Oh.'" The elders did not understand. Not completely. But they understood this. The humans did not fear them. The humans liked them. The humans wanted to be their friends. This was new. This was different. This was worth exploring. 1 month later, the first Velthrani cultural exchange happened. 5 young Velthrani visited Earth. They were nervous. They did not know what to expect. What they found was a planet full of beings who wanted to take pictures with them, who wanted to give them presents, who wanted to show them cute videos of Earth animals, who kept saying "aw" when they moved quietly or showed their claws. The Velthrani visitors were confused. Then they were overwhelmed. Then slowly they started to smile. Humans were strange, they decided. But it was a good kind of strange. On Orth 7, Marcus John received a message one evening. It was from Kethsaro. There was a video attached. It showed her 3 cubs at home, in a room full of toys and blankets from Earth. They were playing with a ball. A blue ball. The same ball that had started everything. The cubs played and tumbled and chirped with joy. And at the end of the video, the smallest one looked directly at the camera. She waved one small paw dot under the video. Kethsaro had written a message. "My children ask when Uncle Marcus will visit. They have many toys to show him. They have been practicing their flips." A pause. Then, "I admit, I am also curious to see you again. You showed my people something important. You showed us that strength is not the only thing that matters. Sometimes the most powerful thing in the universe is the ability to see beauty in unexpected places, to find joy in small moments, to look at something strange and different and say, 'Oh, thank you, Marcus Chun. Thank you for teaching us about cute.'" Marcus read the message 3 times. His eyes were wet, but he was smiling. He started planning his trip to the Velthrani homeworld that very night, years later. When historians wrote about the alliance between humans and Velthrani, they would talk about trade agreements and diplomatic negotiations. They would mention political strategy and economic benefits, but those who really knew the truth would tell a different story. They would tell the story of a rolling ball, of 3 cubs breaking their discipline to play, of a human who pulled out his datapad and whispered, "They look like baby ninjas." They would tell the story of how the most feared warriors in the galaxy learned a new word, cute. And they would tell the story of how humanity proved something important, something that no other species had ever shown. In a galaxy full of darkness and danger and fear, humanity had a gift. They could look at anything, even the most deadly creatures, and find a reason to smile. They could look at strangers and see friends. They could look at monsters and see babies. They could look at the universe and find it wonderful. That was humanity's true strength. Not weapons, not technology, not intelligence, just the simple, powerful ability to see something different and think, "Oh my God, that is so cute." And somehow, against all logic and reason, that was enough to change the galaxy.